The Indus River, a lifeline of South Asia, has long been a source of both life and contention. This mighty river, stretching over 3,000 kilometers, has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations along its banks. Flowing from the Himalayas to the Arabian Sea, it sustains the lives and livelihoods of millions. Farmers, fishermen, and entire communities depend on its waters for their daily needs. In 1960, against a backdrop of historical animosity, India and Pakistan signed the Indus Waters Treaty. This was a monumental step towards peace and cooperation. This landmark agreement, brokered by the World Bank, aimed to ensure the equitable sharing of the Indus River system's waters. It was a beacon of hope in a region often fraught with tension. The treaty allocated the three western rivers, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, primarily to Pakistan, ensuring that their agricultural and domestic needs were met, and the three eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej, to India, allowing both nations to harness the river's potential for development. It established mechanisms for data sharing, technical cooperation, and dispute resolution. These measures were crucial in maintaining transparency and trust. For decades, despite periods of conflict, the IWT remained a pillar of stability. It was a testament to the power of diplomacy and mutual respect. The IWT's significance went beyond water management. It fostered a spirit of collaboration and understanding. It served as a vital confidence-building measure between two nuclear-armed neighbors, reducing the risk of conflict over water resources. The treaty's success underscored the possibility of cooperation even in the face of deep-seated mistrust. It showed that dialogue and negotiation could triumph over discord. By providing a framework for managing a shared resource, the IWT helped to prevent water from becoming a flashpoint for war. It was a model for other regions facing similar challenges. Its principles of equitable distribution and peaceful resolution set a precedent for transboundary water cooperation globally. The legacy of the IWT continues to inspire efforts towards sustainable and peaceful water management worldwide. The fragile peace established by the Indus Waters Treaty, IWT, has come under severe strain in recent years, with both nations accusing each other of violations. The disputed region of Kashmir, a long-standing source of conflict between India and Pakistan, once again became the epicenter of tensions, drawing international concern. In a brazen attack on date of attack, militants stormed a target of attack, resulting in the deaths of Indian security personnel, further escalating the situation. India swiftly blamed Pakistan for harboring and supporting the militants, accusations Pakistan vehemently denies, leading to a war of words between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. This attack, the deadliest in Kashmir in recent years, ignited outrage in India and sparked calls for swift retribution, with citizens demanding action. The Indian government, under intense public pressure to act decisively, vowed to make Pakistan pay a heavy price for its alleged involvement, promising a strong response. The attack served as a grim reminder of the volatile security situation in Kashmir and the deep mistrust that continues to plague India-Pakistan relations, with no resolution in sight. In a move that sent shockwaves through the region, India announced on Wednesday, before April 27, 2025, its decision to suspend key provisions of the IWT, a treaty that has been a cornerstone of regional water sharing for decades. India declared its intention to fully utilize its share of the western rivers, historically allocated to Pakistan for its own needs, citing national interest and security concerns. This included plans to construct a series of hydroelectric dams and irrigation projects, effectively diverting water away from Pakistan, which relies heavily on these rivers for agriculture and drinking water. India also halted the sharing of crucial hydrological data with Pakistan, including flood warnings, further escalating tensions and creating a sense of uncertainty. India's actions were seen as a clear message to Pakistan: cease support for militancy or face severe consequences, a stance that has been echoed by Indian officials in recent months. By targeting a resource so vital to Pakistan's economy and stability, India aimed to inflict maximum economic pain, potentially crippling Pakistan's agricultural sector. The move raised serious concerns about the future of the IWT and the potential for water to become a weaponized tool in the long-standing conflict between the two nuclear-armed neighbors, adding a new dimension to their already complex relationship. The potential consequences of India's actions for Pakistan are dire. The Indus River and its tributaries are the lifeblood of Pakistan's agrarian economy, irrigating over 80% of its agricultural land. The The fertile plains of Punjab and Sindh, known as Pakistan's breadbasket, rely heavily on the Indus waters for their productivity. The suspension of the Indus Water Treaty threatens to plunge Pakistan's agricultural heartland into crisis. Pakistani farmers, already grappling with the impacts of climate change and water scarcity, are now faced with an unprecedented threat to their livelihoods. The potential loss of crops due to water shortages could lead to food insecurity, economic hardship, and social unrest. The situation is particularly alarming in the southern province of Sindh, which is heavily reliant on the Indus for its agricultural production. The Indus Water Treaty has long been hailed as a shining example of how shared water resources can be managed peacefully and cooperatively. For over 6 decades, the treaty provided a framework for India and Pakistan to address water-related issues through dialogue and technical cooperation. The treaty established the Permanent Indus Commission, comprising representatives from both countries, to meet annually and address any concerns. The Indus Water Treaty's success was not without its challenges. Over the years, India and Pakistan have had disagreements over the interpretation and implementation of certain provisions. However, the treaty's mechanisms for dispute resolution, including recourse to neutral experts and international arbitration, helped to prevent these disagreements from escalating into full-blown crises. The current crisis surrounding the Indus Water Treaty has pushed India-Pakistan relations to a new low. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the impasse have been met with limited success. India remains resolute in its demand for Pakistan to take concrete action against militant groups operating from its soil before considering restoring the treaty's provisions. Pakistan continues to deny any involvement in the Kashmir attack and has called India's actions unilateral and a violation of international law. The international community has expressed deep concern over the situation and urged both sides to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue. The World Bank, the original broker of the Indus Water Treaty, has offered its good offices to facilitate a resolution. However, with trust between India and Pakistan at an all-time low, the path to a negotiated settlement remains fraught with obstacles. The suspension of the Indus Water Treaty provisions represents a perilous moment in South Asia. Failure to find a resolution could have catastrophic humanitarian, economic, and security implications for the region. The spectre of water wars, a long-held fear in an era of increasing water scarcity, looms large. However, amidst the escalating tensions, there remains a glimmer of hope. Both India and Pakistan have a shared interest in preventing the situation from spiraling further out of control. Dialogue, though challenging in the current climate, remains the only viable path towards de-escalation and finding a sustainable solution. The international community must continue to play an active role in encouraging diplomacy and providing support for conflict resolution mechanisms. The Indus River, a lifeline of South Asia, has long been a source of both life and contention. This mighty river, stretching over 3,000 kilometers, has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations along its banks. Flowing from the Himalayas to the Arabian Sea, it sustains the lives and livelihoods of millions. Farmers, fishermen, and entire communities depend on its waters for their daily needs. In 1960, against a backdrop of historical animosity, India and Pakistan signed the Indus Waters Treaty. This was a monumental step towards peace and cooperation. This landmark agreement, brokered by the World Bank, aimed to ensure the equitable sharing of the Indus River system's waters. It was a beacon of hope in a region often fraught with tension. The treaty allocated the 3 western rivers.